Home Minister Amit Shah held a high-level meeting at his Home Ministry office. Important business was discussed, but questions are now being raised whether the Home Ministry is now a new power center. Is this the right assessment, or are commentators reading a bit too much? I'll tell you the reason why this is happening, because from the finance minister to the foreign minister to the petroleum minister to the railways minister to another former minister, Uma Bharti, all of them they reached the Home Ministry office to meet Amit Shah. Now there is a bit of a rider over here. We must remember he continues to be the party chief. So he can carry out party activity. But was this a party activity? From what we are learning, our colleague Neeta Sharma tells us it had to do with an important discussion on petroleum. It had to do with an important discussion on a government matter. Then are we to expect, is it safe to assume that Amit Shah's office, the Home Ministry, is now going to be the de facto number 2 office of governance in this government? Let me quickly throw this open for a discussion. We'll first begin with Neeta Sharma. Hi, Neeta. First of all, I want your assessment. You were there all through the day on the ground. You were there outside the Home Ministry. I want to know from you, will it be a fair... First of all, was there some sense of confusion as to why all of these people are converging at the Home Ministry office?
Among reporters, yes, but not in the government. But, whosoever we spoke to, whether it's Dharmendra Pradhan or Piyush Goyal or Nirmala Sitharaman, they only said that they were there to have coffee or tea or have biscuits. But, sources tell us, because even officials from Niti Aayog also attended this meeting. So later it was told to us that certain technical aspects of petroleum issue were discussed in the meeting. But as far as the new power center is concerned in Raisina Hills, one is in South Block, now this one is in North Block. Why? Because in last 4 days, this is the 4th day of Mr. Amit Shah as the Home Minister. In last 4 days,
who all has he met?
He has met lots of governors, starting with Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Maharashtra. He met Uttarakhand
Chief Minister. But that's within his ambit as a Home Minister.
Yeah, but the kind of activity and even, the kind of speed we see among even the babus, the bureaucrats, it's legendary. When he took over as the Home Minister, that kind of frenzy I only saw when Arvind Kejriwal came in 2012 in North Block. And this was the kind of frenzy I saw this time again when Amit Shah came. People had lined up to just, wave at him or whatever. Even the babus, they are doing their presentation, they're making the presentations.
No, but then at what point, Neeta, would you assess that this perhaps is an office beyond the office of the Home Ministry, or beyond the ambit of the Home Ministry?
Because today itself, the Foreign Affairs Minister was there, Minister of External Affairs, Mr. S. Jaishankar was there, then Mr. Piyush Goyal was there, though all of them were saying that he is the BJP party president. But still, all these important cabinet ministers were there, including officials of Niti Aayog were also there.
Now, Bhaskar Ghosh, I want to bring you in at this moment. You are the BJP spokesperson. How do you want to assess this? Do you feel that this is the classic case of the Home Ministry now becoming the de facto number 2 office in this government?
I think I must see it from different angles. Today, as far as the official position is concerned, Mr. Amit Shah is not only the Home Minister, he is also the party president. And as per the rank and file, Home Ministry is considered to be number 2 in the whole cabinet after the Prime Minister. Now, my question to you, today where was the Prime Minister? I am asking questions.
No, you should tell me, please.
No, that's what I am asking. I have no idea, because I am asking you. You are more journalist, so you have more information.
Sir, during the UPA time, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee was the number 2.
I am asking a question, where was today Prime Minister, in and out of this country?
Tell me, answer the question.
Yeah, I am asking.
I wouldn't know, sir.
I have no idea. I think perhaps he is out of the country.
No, see, you are making an assessment at this moment.
Now, today, what was the issue?
Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh, you yourself are not sure where the Prime Minister is. My point is, there is no harm in meeting people.
Let me answer.
They can meet in any office that they want. Pranab Mukherjee also was a very tall leader, and he used to carry out consultations.
Pranab Mukherjee was also head of the 80 GOM.
Correct.
Right? He was a de facto, of course, the government. He was running the government.
Correct. But the UPA never hid this fact.
Question
they
is
acknowledge that he is a power
we have
center.
just started. Now you see, today what was the agenda? Crude oil supply and the rising price, right? So that is going to hit both the government and the party together. If there is crude oil price, of course the party as a party president, he is supposed to answer back, right? And government of course is
Are you
responsible.
aware in what capacity this meeting was taking place? Him
He
as
is
the
one
party
of the big
president
four.
or him as
He
the...
is one of the big four. He is also the party president. So as one of the big four, he can always have discussion with his colleagues.
Okay, so obviously
Today,
then-
who was representative? The representation from Finance Ministry, he was one of the big four. The Minister of External Affairs was one of the big four. Petroleum is a concerned departments or the
So
ministry.
you're saying that with him... No,
So
I know...
see from
I know,
both angles.
I know
see
who
from
all
both.
met.
Sanket, see from both angles.
Bhaskar Ghosh,
He is discussing with his party colleagues of
Yes.
Big Four. He is also discussing on the strength of his being
So
his
it
party
makes him
president.
first among equals
So he has
in
got
the big
all
four.
right.
That's the
all
point that you
right
seem to be making.
all right to call for a meeting.
I have no
as a
problem.
party
My
president.
point
Location is not important. Location is not
Will
important.
the BJP acknowledge that this is the number 2 power center?
No, I mean,
The-
by
in
his
the
own rank
government?
and file, Home Minister itself is number 2.
Sir,
No,
we are
that's not
only
true.
saying that during last when Mr. Rajnath Singh was there, this kind of political activity was not seen in North Block. We are just comparing the two.
Madam,
we are not
Rajnath
saying
Singh
nothing.
was not the party president. He is now the party
No,
president.
you are saying
also.
as a home minister, he is the number 2. Even Mr. Rajnath Singh was number
Number
2.
two, Rajnath
Fine,
Singh,
but
that's fine.
that kind of meetings were not
Okay,
happening.
yeah,
when
That's
Hassan.
why I am
Mr.
telling you,
Rajnath Singh
Hassan,
as
very
a
quickly.
Home Minister number
Yeah.
2
Bhaskar ji,
and one
about
of the
4
big
minutes,
4, he
yeah.
is discussing with his party colleagues.
Huh.
And as a party president,
Okay.
he is also calling for a meeting and
maybe-
asking for
Okay,
the...
one moment, Neeta. Yes, Hassan and then Nirja ji.
Sanket, I tell you one thing. I mean, we all, BJP rank and file, are quite aware about the fact that the way new BJP have been carved in India, the credit goes to Mr. Amit Shah. Forget about the rank and file of BJP. Even the bureaucracy have made up their mind. If they have to seek the plum posting, you have to get work in a very unbridled fashion. Amit Shah will be there. And second point, which I already discussed last time when we had a discussion, that even if Amit Shah does not continue as a party president, he has developed an organization to such an extent that anyone who is going to take the charge as a BJP president, the imprint of Mr. Amit Shah will always be there.
No, I object.
And I think,
I object.
yeah, you may
BJP
object.
don't run as a-
listen,
as a
listen,
conference.
listen.
They don't run
Now, my
from stage.
point
It's
is
supposed
to be
that
a discussion, not
yeah,
an argument.
It's a
I
discussion.
object.
Obviously, you have all the right to object. But because RSS has been sidelined by the BJP, and the fact was that we all know that the
Here-
parallel
here-
organization of
RSS has
RSS and
nothing to
BJP,
do with the BJP's
because
official
this
one-
job,
one-
Mr.
one-
Narendra
RSS has
Modi
nothing to
and
do
Mr.
with
I'm
Amit
going to
Shah.
come. I'm going to come on the point of RSS in just a short moment. Mr. Deshratan Nigam may want to weigh in on this, but before I come to you, Nirja Chaudhary, where do you stand on this issue? Do you think this was inevitable? This was about to happen? His elevation meant this?
See, look, let's have no illusions. Mr. Amit Shah is the number 2 in government
Correct.
as Home Minister of India. He, without being, he's also today's meeting, the signal it sends me is he's also be the Deputy Prime Minister of India without being designated
Oh, okay.
so. Barring the Prime Minister, all the members of the Cabinet's Committee on Security, which is the apex body of decision making in a government, they were there. Home Minister was there, Defence Minister was there, Finance Minister was there, External Affairs Minister was there. If it was a party meeting, there was no need for External
Defence was.
Affairs Minister was to be there. It was an extended meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security with the infrastructure ministers, railways, petroleum also there, the CEO of the Niti Aayog there. And from all accounts, Mr. Amit Shah has been addressing the issue of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. You know, there is talk about delimitation, first getting Amarnath Yatra through, then delimitation of constituency, redrawing the constituency, then going in for elections there. So the whole Kashmir agenda of the BJP and all
Okay.
that Mr. Amit Shah and the party promise is probably be put into motion. And Mr. Amit Shah presided over that meeting, not the Prime Minister.
No, but then,
So that
Ms.
gives
Nirja
them
Chaudhary,
a
I think
very
you're talking about
important
these are two
position,
different
as I
meetings,
say,
Neeta.
Clear number
Yes.
2.
The Kashmir meeting was different,
The
and
Kashmir
the meeting with the
was
Council of
during the
Ministers-
morning hours, which was attended by the Ministry of Home Affairs
Yes,
officials.
and the meeting of these 4 top ministers was different.
Yes.
Very quickly, Deshratan Nigam, running out of time. Your assessment.
See, let me tell you, Before we
Is
come-
he, in the words of Neerja Chaudhary, now
No.
the Deputy Prime
See,
Minister?
let me tell you, as of now, the prime position is with the Prime Minister. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's why he's called Prime Minister.
And let me tell you, before we comment, we must know what is the role of the Home Ministry in India, which is first maintenance of internal security and domestic policy. Domestic policy is about administration of everything which is within the borders of the country. This is how Home Ministry's function is defined.
So this power existed with Mr. Rajnath Singh also when he was Home Minister.
he
never exercised it.
No, whether he exercised or not, whether he discussed on the phone with other people, you don't know.
Sorry?
He did not have the power enough.
No,
he
no,
was
no,
not
no,
powerful
no.
enough.
No.
This
These
is
are all fantastic assumptions. These are
The idea
fantastic
over here
assumptions.
is to just understand what each individual thinks and not quarrel or not fight over this, but this will make for an interesting discussion which we shall continue to have maybe at some other time.
For reporters,
Thank you so much.
it's
For
very-
reporters?
For reporters, it's very good news because
Yeah,
we'll be getting a lot more news now.
Yes, and tough days ahead
One
for you on the Home
operation.
Ministry
Yes,
beat.
yes.
Thank you so much to all my guests and Neeta Sharma for getting us this news break.